Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's Action Figure Showcase, we have the final part of my Attitude Era collection. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today is the final piece of the Attitude Era Showcase. This is part 7, I think, and this is just WWE. I'm planning to do WCW, do ECW, and for the most part, it'll be just that, like, Attitude Era, Monday Night Wars era. But I, like, give or take, there'll be a little bit of flexibility. But today is all about finishing up that WWE, and honestly, there's some crossover because that end of the Attitude Era really was the like invasion after they WCW was bought out by WWE. So then we've got people like Hurricane and Mighty Molly that came over. We've got some more people in just today's showcase we'll talk about, but first things first here, Hurricane, and this is one of my favorite customs I've done. It was a very simple custom. I think all I did was give him different white, like all white boots, put some knee pads on him, and then I think I might have changed up the arms, but then the head sculpt for that Hurricane is a Jax figure, and it was the short-haired Hurricane. I sanded down the head, gave him the long hair with the ponytail to give him that invasion kind of look, and I had this exact Jax figure. I had it for a really long time. I honestly might still have it, but this look was very nostalgic for me for Hurricane, so it was one I really wanted to do, even though there was no painting. I mean, I painted the head sculpt and everything, but getting this Mighty Molly was awesome. I did not expect us to get it. I would still like a Ruthless Aggression look for Mighty Molly, or for Molly Holly, but this is, like I said, I did not expect this. And then to get the Chase version of her, I mean, it was just a repaint, but at the same time, I didn't expect that either. I was very surprised to get this Molly and the other Molly, and I think it's a fantastic looking figure. The cape on my Hurricane is from that old Jax figure, and obviously this Molly, if you're a collector, currently you would have seen this in the Legends line. I think the blue version was the Chase, this was the regular version, but there we go, starting off today with the Hurricane and Mighty Molly. Next up is not quite a full custom, but it is fixed up quite a bit. This is my WrestleMania 18 Hulk Hogan, and we did get this in the the WrestleMania Hollywood Elite line, like the WrestleMania series. God, what, I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. It was the line at Walmart, had The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and then there was one more, I can't think of who it was, but then there was a Build-A-Figure, and I can't even think, Mean Gene, maybe, was the Build-A-Figure? I can't even think of who the Build-A-Figure was. But with this Hogan, the legs, I was disappointed with the figure. They gave us the skinny torso, so this torso was taken from one of his other elites we got, one of his older elites, I think. It's got the more orange skin tone, obviously. The boots, I was happy we got the white boots with his face on them, but then like the tights, they didn't really do anything, which I don't think that's accurate. I don't remember I'm pretty sure like the belt, I don't know, I remember being really disappointed in that figure, so swapped some stuff around. I painted white on the knee pads, so that was more accurate. This beard, he didn't have a beard because this wasn't his Hollywood figure originally, so I painted that on there. So all Hulk Hogan parts, I just swapped things around to give it more of the look that I liked. So there's my WrestleMania 18 Hogan. Next up are his running mates in the New World Order. We've got Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and this Scott Hall is the WrestleMania Elite we got of him, but it is head swapped with the Legends figure. I just thought that this fit this version of Scott Hall a little better. I have a different head sculpt on the Legends figure that it originally came on, but neither of these outside of that are fixed up. The Ruthless Aggression Kevin Nash figure right here is that like NWO 2002, like that return NWO look with the more blonde hair and ponytail and everything. That was in the Ruthless Aggression like wave 2. I was on vacation in Ohio, in a small town in Ohio. I drove like 45 minutes one morning to try and track these figures down, and I lucked out. I think that was, for a long time, the only Kevin Nash I'd really seen, and I had put together the rest of the NWO 2002 group with figures we had, some customs and everything, so I had to chase Kevin Nash down and grabbed him, but nothing new with formulas for this Nash or Hall, and I think they do a pretty good job. I talk about Scott Hall being a little too short, in my opinion, which I know you kind of look at them here and let me know what you guys think. I think they make him a little too short, but still, overall look, I think they're pretty good figures and pretty happy with them. Next up, 2 more customs. I was looking through my pile here. There's a lot of customs today, and this is like the favorite part of my channel, so excited to get to more of these. That's why I want to do the showcase in general, was to not just show off the whole collection, but I have a lot of customs that I made before I had the channel, so wanted to get those on here. But here's a couple I did a long time ago. I made Chuck and Billy, and I've had this Chuck Palumbo head sculpt since like 4th grade. I've had it for so long, and I never had a huge desire to make him, and I don't know, one day I just got the itch. I made both of them, Billy and Chuck, and the head sculpt also from this Billy Gunn both of these are Jack's head sculpts. I think they're fantastic. The formula for the Chuck figure was, I believe it was legs from a Barry Windham Elite, and then a torso from Stone Cold with some Dana Bryan arms. And then for Billy Gunn, I think the torso, I can't remember who I took it from. It's the same torso that T-Bar has, a Jack's head sculpt, Dana Bryan arms. The legs, I want to say, were Arn Anderson legs that I repainted. And then I can't remember where the lower legs came from. And then they're the like Batista style boots. And I made these a long time ago. I'm happy with them. There's a few spots I'd like to touch up on them, but overall, they're like, I'll get to them eventually. You can kind of see those decals on the back. Decals look fine. The yellow paint is very early on in like when I started painting more. So the yellow, I think I could have done a little better, but overall, happy with these and more than good enough for the Attitude Era shelf. Next up, one of my favorite trios, not just from the Attitude Era, but all time for wrestling, Team Extreme. Got both Hardy Boys and Lita, and all 3 of these are official releases. I did fix up, so the Jeff, I painted like a wash in the hair a little bit, so it wasn't like just that plain red. The Matt Hardy's head sculpt, I believe, is from the like WWE shop exclusive Hardys. I think that's where that head sculpt came from. The jersey on him came from that 2-pack with Jeff, and then the Lita head sculpt was actually from a Titantron Live figure, and I thought that head looked better for the era. Maybe not like sculpt wise, like the skin tone I don't like as much. It's a little more like glossy, but I think the hair, like that look is better than the one that we got on this figure, which I felt like was a good Lita sculpt, but was more like a modern look. So just fix these up a tiny bit so that I could have a little better representation of what I wanted for Team Extreme. Matt Hardy did recently just pop up on Raw. Not on Raw, but he went to Raw. People saw him. He was there watching with Rebby. So you never know. Maybe him and Jeff will be on their way back to WWE. And at this point, I really just want them to have like one more match. I know they want one more match. Let them have their match, and then just knock out all of the Legends figures hard as you want. We've already got the Dudleys back. We're getting their re-release. Edge and Christian, they're doing their stuff in AEW. I want to get some AEW figures of them, which will probably be like 8 years before we get those. But Hardy Boys, head on back. They're not doing anything in AEW. Let me get some of those Legends figures. Give me all of them. All of the Hardys, I want them. But here's my Team Extreme for now. Next up, part of the reason that I was so excited for this final installment of the Attitude Era is because I finally got to like the TLC era with Edge, Christian, the Hardys, Dudleys. Obviously, those guys were all huge parts of the like tail end of the Attitude Era. They were there the whole time really, but what they brought was just so different compared to what we'd kind of had in WWE with their tag team matches and TLC at WrestleMania 16. I think it was TLC. WrestleMania 17 and like SummerSlam, I think, were the like official TLC matches. I could be wrong there. But as far as these two figures, these are just the official releases. This is a shirt from Ralph's Figure Clothing on Christian. When I bought this figure, it was just loose on eBay, so it didn't have the shirt. I couldn't really track it down, and I was putting in an order for some figure clothing from Ralph, which I haven't done in a long time. It takes a while to get his stuff, but it is like quality stuff. I've been happy with it. But I think the head sculpt on that Christian is awesome. I think it's a great figure. He's another guy I've thought they've made a little short, and I don't know if it's just like proportional. I feel like Christian's legs should be a little bit longer, and like he should have a smaller torso. But I don't know if Mattel has the torso options that would really fix that. I do like I think his AEW figure had the right idea. Not the best execution, we'll save that for another day. But the Edge figure here, I've talked about these legs. I think they're okay. I think they're a little too thick for Edge. I had my other Edge figure, the SummerSlam Elite, that had the skinnier legs and the long boots. I think that the tall boots, I think that's a better formula for him. But use the Legends Edge head for this. I think that's the best sculpt they've done for Edge. I like the hair, I like the likeness. Just a great figure, and there's a lot of Edge attires. I know they're all basically just repainted versions of his tights, but I would really like him in green from when they won TLC. I like him in purple, which maybe that's what he wore at WrestleMania 17. I could be thinking of that wrong. But like the green and purple, I feel like are huge moments for the tag team, and we didn't get those, but two great looking figures here nonetheless. And to complete the trio here, we have the Dudleys, obviously, and these are the elites that we're getting in the from the Vault collection on Ringside, which I think is awesome. I'm not, oh man, looks like Dudley's about to take fall. Looks like they're both about to take fall here. Okay, hopefully we stay right there. I'm not someone that collects for like value necessarily, or like to sell figures. If I sell figures, I do, but I like to just hoard all of the wrestling figures. So once they make it to my collection, most of the time they don't leave unless it's customs people are interested in. But the Dudleys here, I have two sets. So I have a normal set where I didn't touch them. They're the modern looking version. But then this set, I wanted to make an older Dudleys because we didn't get those. I assume we're going to get a bunch of Dudley figures. As I'm recording this a Wednesday before the like Mattel Creations reveals. This is also being recorded before we're at WrestleMania, so maybe we'll see some renders. I don't know. I feel like either we might get some made to order stuff for the Dudleys. I would absolutely die. That'd be awesome. Or San Diego Comic-Con is still a bit off, so maybe we'll see some renders for the Dudleys there. But them with the Hardys, give me all of the Dudleys. I want them all. Just give me them in blue, gray, normal cam, just whatever. I don't care what Dudleys you give me. I'll be happy with them. But for mine here, all I did was change the arms on Bubba. So I painted the shoulders black. I gave him some arms from an IRS Elite figure. He has like the tight arms, or the tight shirt mold on the biceps, and then the head is from a Jax Titantron Live figure. I think it's a great Bubba sculpt with the tongue out there. And then with Devon, I had a Jax Devon head and then I couldn't find it. Then I ended up using it for my ECW custom, which we'll get to eventually. But this was just, I'm pretty sure this was just the Elite head he came with. I painted some hair on him. I've seen some people sculpt. I know like on the Wrestling Figs forum a long time ago, I saw someone sculpt some hair on a Dudley or a Devon that looked really good, but I just painted mine. I kept it pretty simple for this. And then the shirt there is from Threadhead Custom Clothing, I'm pretty sure. I love that shirt for the Dudleys and for this Devon figure, but we've got a couple more to get to and we are out of here. So the last ones for today are going to be two guys who I could have put with Edge and Christian and could have put with Devon and Bubba, obviously, but we have Spike and Rhino, two I think Alliance members, but I wanted to make these guys for so long. We got the Rhino. Obviously, this is just pretty much a Rhino elite figure we got, but he had the ridiculous arms on him, just the gargantuan shoulders and biceps, and I always like pictured him like, dude's built like a sausage. His legs and torso are just like one big loaf of bread, and then his arms were just these like short stubby little things. So I felt like they had the right idea with about as bad of execution as you could get. So what I ended up doing was giving him some smaller shoulders, and then I took some arms from a Bobby Roode or a Vince McMahon network exclusive as the arms that he got. And then the decals, I just went with the like yellow and white black design that he had, or what I thought of then. And this kind of works for, actually no, I have an ECW specific Rhino that I did as well. Scratch that. So this was just my Invasion Rhino. Head sculpt wise, I thought it worked fine. The Spike Dudley, I've gone back and forth for a long time trying to think of a formula for him. So what I ended up doing here was taking I think those are Sami Zayn legs. Those have the like smaller cuff on the bottom. And then I took the short boots. So normally the Sami Zayn elites come with the tall boots. I put on the short boots because Spike is a very small person, and I know people have used the Bushwhacker elite figures, people have used the Shield legs, and I just, with not next to any other figures, the scale is fine, but scale bothers me. Like give or take every now and then with some figures isn't a huge deal, but I needed Spike to be small. I grew up with Jax, with Rey Mysterio and Undertaker being the same height. Didn't want that here. And I mean, technically Rhino and him, I probably aren't the same exact height, but the Spike Dudley here, the torso is from a 1-2-3 kid. The arms are from a Drake Maverick basic. So you can see they're pinless, but they're just like the weird bicep looking ones. And he does have swappable hands, but then the head I just dremeled out a little bit. It's a Jax head, Titantron Live. There's a nice wash in it, which Jax not always, but often did. I think maybe the likeness isn't perfect, not 10 out of 10, but from what I wanted to do with Spike Dudley, I was really, really happy with this. I do want ECW Spike. I've seen some really good customs of that. I've gone back and forth on a formula for that, but eventually we'll get there, but got to start somewhere. So I've got this one, and then if you've watched my Ruthless Aggression showcase, you've seen the one I have for that as well. But that is it. That is my entire Attitude Era collection. This was all, I think, 7 parts. I'll probably put like all of them together in one big video if you haven't watched all of them. Or like I put them all on a playlist, I guess. But if you watch all 7 parts, I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate anyone watching anything on the channel. But it was a long haul. I mean, I do one of these a week, 7 weeks. If you stuck around, and I know a lot of you talk about figures in the comment section, talk to me on Instagram, and I appreciate it. I just like talking about figures, dude. But if you have been watching, you want to go watch more showcases, go check out more on the channel. Sorry, I'm losing my words. Been a long day today. But if you have a preference, so I'm thinking about doing WCW or ECW next, just to continue the Attitude Era stuff. And I've been picking up the Monday Night Wars figure, so I'm excited about that. Just got that nostalgia going. Let me know in the comments if you guys have a preference. But outside of that, please continue to like, share, subscribe. I always appreciate it. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.